Hey YouTube, coming at you with my first Hoenn Cup team, and it is a very meta team, but it is very strong, and I will tell you right now, it is because the main meta of the Great League is dominated by Noctowl. Because of Noctowl, I said there's the trifecta and Lanturn, right? There's Noctowl, Charizard Flyers, there is Steels, Registeel, Bastiodon, and then there Galarian Stunfisk, and then there is the fighter in Metachamp, and then there's Lanturn, right? So having those main trifecta plus Lanturn really limits two Pokemon here ability in that meta. First is SABLEYE, because SABLEYE was one of the best save swaps, but with Noctowl, it's just an automatic wall, and you lose the Lanturn too, so it's just a terrible combo. And then pelipper just gets absolutely lit up being double E2 electric by Lanturn. So those two are not here, which means these two as old save swaps are now have huge play in this meta, specifically SABLEYE here. So what I did was I led pelipper because really there's like almost no matchups. I don't want to say no matchups, but there are very few matchups in this meta where you need to leave the opening matchup, and that's why I like pelipper in the lead, because I've kind of mentioned before, I like having a Pokemon in the lead that can just like stay in, and then you can decide what you want to do with various shield scenarios to tell you whether you want to like try and take shield advantage, switch advantage. So in this one, like I know I'm going to outpace here, so I'm going to be able to either take switch or take shield. So I'm up with shield. They're going to get a move up here. Like I have energy, so I'm going to shield and throw here just to make sure that I have it. They make a good catch on a Dusclops, but now I got my SABLEYE as a great answer. And again, SABLEYE is going to have so much play just in this meta because Noctowl is your biggest answer is in here. Lickitung as your second like really biggest answer is in here. There is, I wonder if there's any matchups this, because I definitely saw Shadow Gardevoir, which you're going to see it in my team in a couple days. But that is also half psychic. It's half fairy, half psychic. So you hit super effectives with the Shadow Claws, and so you can grab a shield from it just between the Shadow Claws and get to a foul play before it takes you out. It will charm you down very fast, but so yeah, SABLEYE is just so strong in this meta. There's Metachamps everywhere. You do well against Registeels. Registeel is on my team as the back end here because again, it's just super sure. I have two answers in the front for Metachamp, right? I have pelipper and SABLEYE, which will both deal with Metachamp. And this one will cover, you're a bit weak to like Altaria in the front, so this will cover Altaria. I think I have the move, but I don't throw because I want to just get a little bit of energy on my other Pokemon here. So just let this go, and then come in here SABLEYE because I think I just let this go because I think I can win attack and Weather Ball for the win here. Not even going to throw, so I can just get to the Weather Ball for the win. I actually started pelipper double Reggie, but I just found that like the Regirock is so much glassier and it just gets outpaced significantly to a lot of moves, which was a little rough. This matchup, what I like to do here is, again, so I had a great lead here. They get out into SABLEYE. I'm throwing because, so they end up shielding. Why I did that? Because then one foul play would have taken it out. It looks like one foul play is going to take it out anyways because these Shadow Claws are going to build up. So I've already got one shield. Again, SABLEYE and SABLEYE. I'm going to be able to take this. I don't think this would have taken it out, but if I remember, they shield. And I know, like, you can survive one foul play. It only does like 50% to a SABLEYE. So I know I can survive. So not only am I going to take switch here, I'm also going to take shield advantage. So this is looking great. I will have pelipper aligned on Swampert. But the only problem with this is pelipper is so glassy. Okay, so they come in. I'll still have good alignment. I know that they're going to try and catch. The problem is that pelipper is so glassy. Like I'm already like like a fifth down. And because I'm a fifth down, 2 Hydro Cannons from a non-shadow is going to take me out, which is crazy. So I think I throw the Weather Ball and it doesn't take it out. And I'm like, okay, well that's unfortunate because I really don't want to have to come in here with Reggie. So I will just commit the shield, take it out with the second Weather Ball, and then they're not going to be able to take out my Reggie. So Reggie's just good because it's like, it has the nukes. Like, the good news is like SABLEYE and pelipper are really good at getting shields, right? Because the wing attack weather ball spam is insane. And the same thing with Shadow Claw and Foul Play. Like, both spam like crazy. So you're probably going to grab shields and then you can kind of nuke in the ending here. Although a lot of times, as you see here, like one focus blast didn't take this out, I have to lock on down. That's what I'm finding with Reggie often, is that like obviously one of these moves doesn't take it out, which makes it kind of tricky. This one, again, I don't want to leave right away because like if I come into Reggie, if they have an Altera, they probably have an answer to Reggie, so I can't come in registeel, so I just gotta like stay in here. This is how glassy your pelipper is. Like Dragon Breath and Sky Attack, it takes me like basically out. I do land Hurricane, which is great. And now at this point, okay, I know you have something in the back probably to beat a Reggie, but I'm just going to come in and get ahead on energy. So what I did was I just threw the Zap Cannon here, hoping, because they're going to think it's Focus Blast, and I got a Defense Fall, so that is huge. Not Defense Fall, Attack Fall, which is great. I do end up shielding this because I'm like, okay, they're probably just going to throw it because there's no reason to throw a resisted move when you're already super lowered. And they probably thought like that was my thought process, so they were just going to go straight Bulldoze. So that's why I did shield up the Bulldoze, because I knew that I could be even in shields and take switch and come out with energy, right? Because they're going to land a Bulldoze here, and it still hurts, even though their attack is lowered. But I wanted to just come out with a bunch of energy, keep switch, have a Foul Play coming out of this too, right? So that was the thought process. And again, SABLEYE, and this is where registeel's weakness comes to play here. Or is this the... No, this is the insane one. So I had Altaria lead, which is a bad lead. Able to take the mid game here, lock on down. This is where it gets tricky because SABLEYE is very spammy. What I end up having to do is, instead of going for like the Zap Cannon, which is more to try and lower the attack, I just go with the Focus Blast. And they shield. And now it's a race. They get to another move. Does not take me out. And I get to a Focus Blast, and the Focus Blast does take them out. This was a really good matchup. So just live. Couple HP left. Back to back Focus Blast for the win. So there we go. Reggie coming through here. Is this one I completely misplay? I think this may be the one I completely misplay. So both get to 8, have a bunch of energy, throw the Weather Ball. They get to the yellow. Ice Shield, because it could be a Thunderbolt, and it is a Thunderbolt, if I remember this matchup. Yep. So I think like, okay, they're already in the yellow. These wing attacks are adding up. For sure. For sure, this Weather Ball is going to take them out. And it doesn't. I'm like, okay, I can farm down. I'm like, that was pretty fast. That doesn't seem like a Thunderbolt. And learn to count, man, because that is a Thunderbolt. So lose shield, lose switch, which means you lose the game. You cannot go down shield and switch and have a chance here. They have a Regirock. I have a Registeel. I go straight for the Focus Blast. Maybe I should have gone for the bait Zap Cannon to try and lower their attack, because what happens here is they now get a Focus Blast off, and I just have to let it go, and it almost takes me out. Like, it takes me the other to, yeah, so that they can just like farm down, and they come in Shiftry, and this game's over, because now I'm locked on a dark as a half dark, half ghost. So the claws are resisted, the foul play is resisted. I've got to bait a return, but even so, they're gonna get to another move. So learn to count in the front end, because I had a Weather Ball I could have like threatened. I could have grabbed a shield on Deoxys and forced them, or taken them out and kept switch. So yeah, just poorly played by me. Not knowing that a Weather Ball wouldn't take out, not knowing that that they were at a second Thunderbolt. So that's too bad. Zangoose, again, a good lead here. Is it a good lead? It's not a good lead. So I have a Zangoose team coming. I've got a really fun one coming. I think I'm just going to go right Saturday, Sunday, because this season's over next week. I got Zangoose and Shadow Mawel coming tomorrow. And then I got my Shadow God of War coming on Sunday. So a lot of fun teams coming. But look at that, they would have taken it here, right? So that's how just glassy pelipper is. So I shield because I'm like, I know I'm probably either going to grab shield back or just do a ton of chip damage. So do a good little bit there, and I'm at a second one because the swing attack buff is great. Gonna do a bunch of chip damage here, so they're probably gonna. So they don't shield. What am I gonna do? Just come in and try and foul. And this is the matchup. So, okay, let's just play this out. As you saw, I was obviously getting chipped because it's a Shadow Gardevoir, right? But I'm also chipping too because they have Psychic and a Shadow. So they are taking a ton damage. I let this go, not realizing that they have Shadow. Well, that's a one-shot. That's fine. But now I end up farming down before they farm me down. And now it is a race, and I end up farming them down before they take me out. So, again, if it was like a 1 or 2 shield, Shadow Guard would have won. But you can grab... you can definitely get Shadow Claw and Foul Play off and force a shield before they take you out. So let's see if I learned my lesson here. Show this up again. I remember Thunder... Oh, it's Psycho Boost, and then they bail. So that's okay. I make a mistake here. I should have immediately came in registeel. I think this may be a loss because now I try to catch or something. Yeah. The problem is that they've already got 100 energy, so now they're going to spam these weather balls and take switch back. When you see a pelipper, yes, the weather balls are going to add up, but if you get in there quick enough, you can take a couple weather balls and then get the zap cannon, and then you're going to be fine. The problem is I did get a shield with the hurricane, but now these weather balls are coming like crazy. And if they shield here, which I think they did, they're easily going to... Oh, they don't. Okay. I was about to say, what they could have done is they could have shielded and farmed up a ton and then took switch, right? They could have thrown a weather ball and then taken switch. Doesn't seem to matter, which actually would have been better because now I have my SABLEYE on their Metachamp, and it just depends what is in the back. This Thunderbolt is going to hurt. And it's an Altaria in the back, so this is... I don't think I'm going to win this. I could get a couple foul plays off here, which would do a bunch of chip damage. Yeah, I just need to get this off. Problem is, they're definitely out of move. I think Weather Ball's not going to be enough to take them out here. No, I'm going to need a Hurricane. I am almost at a Hurricane. But then I think the Deoxys goes back-to-back Psycho Boost, if I remember, for the win. Yeah, so I just misplayed that. Like, if you see a flyer, double flyer team, Deoxys double flyer is a common team, right? You try and... That's exactly what you try and do. You try and draw out the registeel with the pelipper, spam the weather balls like crazy, have Deoxys come back in and punish you, and then have your Altaria roam free. So it's a pretty straightforward like play there. But yeah, I should have played that much better. So that I get hit with the move, that's okay. And now finally get a switch back. This matchup was crazy. Altaria versus Registeel, they get a Moonblast, and I get a Zap Cannon, but a Zap Cannon is only neutral because they're half Dragon, half Flying. So it's still going to take a second move, and even with them throwing resisted Moonblast, which I don't know if that's the right move, or Sky Attack, despite that resisted, despite me lowering their attack, like they're taking me down to the red, which seems insane to me. That seems like quite a lot of damage for an Altaria to do to a Registeel. Good news is, if they don't throw here, I'm going to get a move off and force a shield, which is great because now I need to keep switch, and they give up switch to the Reggie, and they try and lock on me down, but that's not going to work because that's resisted. So I get a second move off here. They're going to have to shield, and now it's SABLEYE's time to just shine here, essentially. I'll shield up one. You can live one Zap Cannon for sure. I shield up one though, and it doesn't even get a lower attack. So let's just spam this right away just in case they get to another one. And they do lower my attack. So get this off. A ton of damage with these foul plays. So the claws and the foul plays add up so quickly on this registeel. So again, Zap Cannon does not take you out, and now Lock-On's not going to take me out, so I can farm up a decent amount. If I knew how to count, maybe I could have done more. I don't know. But get the foul play off. They're going to have to throw, or else I'm going to just do chip damage there, and that's all I would have needed, because then wing attacks would have taken it out the rest of the way. But does not matter. I will have the Hurricane coming out here for the win. So yeah, pelipper on the lead. Sweet, because there's not a ton of losses. SABLEYE, great save swap because there's not a lot of punishes, right? And then registeel has its strengths, being able to just like tanky, handle the flyers, handle Altaria. So it's a pretty solid team. They're definitely a meta team, and I think if you want to grind, you should probably use a meta team to grind. Although, like I said, I did really well with this. It is meta champ tomorrow too, like meta champ, Shadow Mawile, and Zangoose. So it's a really fun team, sort of ABB style team, and it worked really, really well because Shadow Mawile is actually really. Be sure to check it out tomorrow. I know that I guess tomorrow is the global Hoenn Go Fest, so I guess people may be a little busy. I guess I should probably get some primal energy because I've seen a couple of the mega already with primal, and that looks insane. For those of you who still are around here, let me know in the comments below, because I plan to do, like I said, I already got 2 more teams Saturday and Sunday for Hoenn Cup, and that leaves Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before I think the season's over on Thursday. I was going to do definitely more Hoenn Cups. What I was going to do is do one testing out, because I went through my metas, my megas level 50, and I have Gengar, Swampert, Gyarados, Abomasnow, all level 50 that I could mega. So what I was going to do is maybe just do one video testing those 4 megas out with like the same backline, like Dragonite, Palkia, or something, like whatever the backline, doesn't really matter, even though my Palkia is not built up, just to like test them out, just to like get the feel for them, just to see what it's like. So if you want that video, let me know in the comments below, or if you just want Hoenn teams to grind, let me know that too. So please leave that in the comments below. Appreciate the support, and have a good weekend if you are doing Hoenn, or yeah, if you're doing the Go Fest or Hoenn Cup or whatever it's called. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next one.